Good morning, it's Lorna Wagner. I'm the Programme Manager for Careers and Outreach for Maritime UK, and I am joined this morning by Wilson and by Charlie, and we're going to have a conversation about their career journeys. So if I can start with you, Wilson, could you tell us your full name, who you work for, and what your job title is, please?
My name is Wilson Rebello, and I work for City Cruises. And presently, I'm working as a mate at City Cruises.
Perfect. And Charlie, same question to you.
Yeah, my name's Charlie Telfer. I also work for City Cruises, and I'm the training and operations manager.
Super. Right. First proper question. So, if we go to you, Wilson, what drew you to the maritime sector?
I worked at sea for a number of years, and having a break, I came to London, and I joined City Cruises during this time. And while at City Cruises, I realized that there could be another career here on the river. And so the fact that I didn't have to stay away from home and have a career at the same time, that drew me towards this profession.
Perfect. And Charlie, what about you? What drew you to the maritime sector?
Well, it started when I was really quite young. My mum and dad were living in Scotland, and my dad started to learn to sail, and he took, or should I say dragged, me and my brothers to Loch Lomond in Scotland. Cold, wet it was, but I enjoyed it, and it stuck with me ever since then.
Perfect.
And that's where it started, really.
So once you get bitten by the water or the sea bug, that's it.
Yeah.
So Wilson, can I ask you the next question? So obviously you had a career at sea. Did you start on a cadet ship? How did your career start?
No, it just started with a job interview after college.
Right. Okay. And what did you study at college?
I did economics.
Ah, right. Okay. And Charlie, what about you? What was your entry point into maritime?
It was the sailing clubs. My dad was in the army, and there were British Forces sailing clubs over in Germany. This is where it was. And I went along and was taught and put through some early qualifications with the RYA, Royal Yachting Association.
Yeah.
So I learned, did some basic courses, and then it was incumbent on me, and I quite enjoyed passing on that knowledge. And I taught other people. So I built up my qualifications that way early on.
And that started you off with when you told us your job title, that you're still training people. Are you still involved in training people now?
Yeah, really.
Fantastic. So Wilson, question 3, what's your career goal? What is it you're aiming for?
Well, after I've gained experience and with all this knowledge I have with me, I would try to follow Charlie's footsteps as a training manager and impart this knowledge that I have and help people achieve their licenses, maybe.
Oh, fantastic. You better watch out for your chair, Charlie.
I am, yeah.
So, Charlie, let me ask you a slightly different question. What's been your career highlight?
My highlight was, I was sailing dinghies as a kid. When I got the qualification to allow me to sail off as captain on this little dinghy and take my friend, and I was the master of this tiny boat. That, I'll never forget that. That was like a huge leap of being responsible on a boat, and I loved it. Fantastic. I loved it. That was there's more than one highlight, but that was a huge one that I'll never forget.
Yeah. Fantastic. Wilson, can you tell me who's been the most important person in your career journey so far, and why?
The first person I would say is the person who thought I was worthy of this apprenticeship and who inducted me in this apprenticeship as Vicky Levine, who was the operations manager then. And after that was Charlie, who inspired me, Charlie Telfer, who I actually asked the first question, like how do I get into this field, and he was very encouraging, and he guided me through the whole process. And after that would be Matthew Beckwith, who encouraged me during the way. And he always had time to have a chat. And it was Jim Cree, who, my operations manager now, who always had time to work around my schedule during my exams. So all these people actually helped me get through this journey.
And one day it will be your name that someone else is saying when you've got Charlie's job. Charlie, what about you? Who was the most important or influential person in your career journey?
I've got to say it was, and it still is, my dad. My dad learning to sail, and I saw him putting his effort into it, even though he was, you know, the boat was bobbing around and it didn't always go as planned. He built up qualifications, and I was sort of inspired by the way he'd done it. So that's been a long running inspiration for me, the way my father did it. And there've been others along the way. When I stepped from my yachting qualifications up to the passenger boat qualifications for the BML, I was pretty much on my own. I didn't go to a school, but I already had yacht master qualifications. I had a friend called Gerald Gadd, who used to be a sailing barge master on the River Thames. And he really took me to the side and helped me towards the BML and told me I really could do it and gave me confidence. So I'd say the two of them stand out.
It is wonderful the way that people will give you their time and pass on their hints and tips and support. And when things are tough, it's just someone that says, come on, it's going to be all right. Just keep your head down. It's going to be okay. Because, you know, we all hit bumps in the road as we're progressing through our careers, don't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, last question, Wilson. So if you were able to tell your 16-year-old self some advice or reassurance, what would it be that you would say?
It would definitely be, thinking back now, definitely be ask more questions. Don't feel afraid to ask the question, and don't think that it's too late for me. Yeah,
fantastic.
Because I always thought like I can't pursue this. It's maybe I've crossed that time limit, but I realize now that everything's possible.
Brilliant. And Charlie, what about you?
Pretty similar. I tell myself, don't even consider the negatives. Just get on with it. Because anybody can do it. All you have to do is put effort in. That's all you need.
Fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you both for your time, and I'm sure you'll inspire lots of other people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.